Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're gonna be remaking my first video ever, which should be this one. There you go, it's my amazing channel, and it should be this video, how to make a match plane for Roblox. And in this, well, the remake of this video, we're gonna be going more in depth on how to make your plane well, and how to make it look pretty good. So this time I'm going to be explaining everything slowly, everything, everything well, so you guys are not confused, because a lot of you told me that I was going a bit fast. So this time I've made sure to turn on my keys so you can see what I'm doing. For instance, if I press A, you can see I'm doing A, D. So, it should be pretty easy for us. So let's start with our plane. Now, if you're on my Discord server, which you should join, link's gonna be in the description, you can see I have a section called Help with Blueprints. So what you can do is, you can check these out, and they have a blueprint for our plane. And this is what we're gonna be using to shape our plane. It's gonna be very easy, don't worry, it's not gonna be hard. And all you have to do is click on one of these links, whichever plane you like, and you can start making them. But for the tutorial, I'm going to be using Drawing Database and using this plane, the A320. It's very detailed, the A320-200. It's a pretty good plane. They've added a lot of detail here, and we will be making this one. So let's crack on. The first task you have to do is right click and click Save Image, so you're downloading your plane. Not downloading your plane, you've downloaded your blueprint. Second task is to open Blender, which, well, we're gonna make a plane there. And here you can see your beautiful your workspace. And this is the place where all the magic's gonna happen. Now, before we actually start, I do recommend you to watch Blender tutorials, because if you don't watch them, things get a bit messy, because if you copy what I'm doing, you're gonna get very confused if you start learning Blender for other things, such as making seats. And if you don't know how to start, you can quickly check out my how to start section over here, and check out these two amazing tutorials. I've watched these tutorials, and that's how I've learned. So let's go. After you've downloaded your blueprint from the internet, all you have to do is right click. Okay, no, sorry, don't right click. You have to click Shift A, and you will get this beautiful drop box with this menu, I guess. And here you have to click Image, and then click Background. And once you click Background, you're gonna get a list of the images, and you have to select the image which is the blueprint. So just quickly do that. I'm going to quickly do that here. And there we go. This is my beautiful file, Airbus A320 JPG. And make sure your file is a JPG.png, or I think a .pdf. I don't know about PDF. I don't think it works. But it can be like .gif or and anything other than JPG or .png. Just click here and load background image. And you should see your beautiful blueprint, but in a very funny position. So what we're gonna do is, firstly, we're gonna fix our blueprint, and to do that, we have to get rid of this cube. So all you have to do is click on the cube, left click and click X, and then you should get this pop-up bar, and then click delete. There you go. It looks a bit cleaner. Now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna be clicking our blueprint, which you can just do from here, and then click N, so N here, and go on Item. And here you should see these bunch of options like rotation, X, Y, and Z. So these are the coordinates. So if I rotate this on the X coordinate, it should become straight. Or if I rotate on the Z coordinate, it should turn around. So what you want to do right now is to change this to 90, which looks good. 0. Ooh, I think this has to be 90 as well. It has to be 180 degrees. Alright, so 360. There we go. And this has to be 0, so it looks straight. Very well. Now, what you have to do is you have to click your blueprint again, and then click S, so you can scale it up, like that. Now it's really big. To close this, just click N, and now if you zoom out, you can see you have a beautiful, beautiful blueprint. And we should be ready to go. But now what we're going to do is we're going to be adding a cylinder. So the cylinder is the closest shape to this plane. It's pretty close. And this is how we're going to model our cylinder. And here's what we have to do. Now this is a tricky bit, so if you have some issues with it, you can check on my Discord, but you shouldn't find it that hard. Now, what we have to do is we have to click Shift A, and now we're going to be adding a mesh. So click on mesh and then click on cylinder. There we go. And now we have our beautiful cylinder. But the problem with the cylinder is it's kind of blocky. So you can simply change that by doing right click and clicking shade smooth. So it looks smooth. But then, it looks pretty funny like that as well. So all you have to do is you have to go here on the object data properties, click that, and go to normals and click auto smooth. There you go. Looks pretty good. And now to make it like a fuselage, you have to again rotate this. So to rotate it, what you have to do is click here and then click R and then click 90. So what I've done is I've clicked the letter R and then typed in 90 on my number pad. If you don't want to do that, you can click N and then you can manually rotate it yourself on the y-axis. So just do that and click it in and type in 90. There you go, beautiful. So now that we have we've got this bad boy in here, we have to find the length of our cylinder, so the length of the fuselage. You can do that by simply googling what's the length of the A320-200. That is 123 feet. So okay, it's 123 feet. So you should go back to Blender, and again you should have this menu. If you don't have this menu, click N. And now I'm just going to quickly change the color because it's going to be a bit hard for you guys to see since the background's white. Anyways, okay, so now that you've clicked N, you can go back to item, and here you see dimensions. And in dimensions, you see the units are in meters. So what we have to do is we have to convert 123 feet to meters. And there we go. To be precise, you can just copy that and go back to Blender, click dimensions while you have selected the cylinder and paste it and click hit enter. There you go. You have your beautiful cylinder. To move around or zoom in and out, you can just click this and use the mouse to zoom in and zoom out. Then if you want to go around here just to see how good your cylinder is, you can just click the hand. There you go. Now that we have we have our beautiful cylinder, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my blueprint. That's done here, and we're going to scale this up because let me just show you what we have to do. Basically, click S, scale it up using your mouse. When it's big enough, you want to hit G like that, and then take this carefully and position it over here, kind of like this. I have to fix my so once you've eyeballed it, you can just click Y here so you know exactly how it's meant to look. Zoom in. Zoom in, and then try to, you can click here for X-ray and try to, connect the front of the cylinder to the nose and the back to the back. Once you think you've done it, all you have to do is, alright, there we go. You have to again click the blueprint and click S, so you're scaling it up. And then again, click G to kind of put it somewhere here. We have to keep, scaling it up and down just to see if it's accurate enough. So again, click S, G to scale it up. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty alright. So we've got our first bit of our plane here, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start modeling. Now, for those of you who don't know a lot about Blender, there's tons of blueprints here on the drawing database, but there's a tiny issue, because if you have a look at, for instance, the MD11, it has a front picture or front view of the plane, and in our blueprint we don't. So the best thing here is to eyeball your wings and your tail if you're gonna be using this blueprint. If you want, I can find another better A320, but this is just gonna be the basics for starting how to make your plane. So you don't really need to worry about that. Okay, so let's get back in here. And now that we have our plane in position, we're gonna start to model it. So to do this, you have to first zoom in, click the cylinder, and click tab. So tab, you should see here, tab. So this is called edit mode for those of you who are pretty new to Blender. And here is where we're gonna we're gonna mold our mesh, if that makes sense. And the way it's gonna work is using a concept of loop cuts. So for those of you, I hope you guys do know what loop cuts are, but if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Loop cuts are options that you get, are like kind of making cuts into your mesh where you can remodel it. So here's what you have to do. You go into edit mode, and you can see this menu, and now you have to select this bad boy. It should say loop cut here. The shortcut is Command R for me. Just click that, and then if you hover over the mesh, you should see this white line. If you give it a click, you can start to place loop cuts. And if you want to be specific to where you want to put a loop cut in, you can hold down and then select where you want to put this loop cut. If you have some issues with them, I'll show you an example once more. So once you're in edit mode, you have to go here in the drop down menu, click loop cuts. You should see a yellow line. Hold down on your mouse or trackpad, and you can then scale where to put your loop cut. I'm going to put one here. So now what you have to do is, once you have put sufficient loop cuts, we're going to get to modeling, and this is going to be the fun bit. So the way this works is for you to first zoom in completely and hold down Alt. Do you see Alt here? There you go, Alt, and oh no, hold on Alt and click this bad boy, or just click a single vertex on the loop cut. So once again, it's Alt, like that, and then click S, and then click Z. So you should see this big long, what should I call this? Oh yeah, this big long white, blue line. And now what you have to do is you can scale this down by moving your mouse in, completely in, and the stop when you can't see a lot of it. So once you've done that, again zoom in, And the point here is to basically make this the smallest dot. So again, zoom in completely. Make sure you don't make this mistake, so don't do this. So the mesh is like going a bit like, you know, crossing each other. You have to make sure it's just a single dot, like that, okay? And that's all you have to do for the first loop cut. So it should look a bit, it should look closed. Now again, once you've done that bit, let's hope it's not crossing. See if it's crossing. No, it's not. It's good. So once you've done that bit, zoom out and do the same for the other loop cuts. Actually, no, don't do the same. Now, for this loop cut, click on this while holding Alt, click on a single vertex here, and then click G to grab it, and click Z so you can see the long blue line. And now, make your mouse. You can move your mouse up or down to select where this loop cut goes. Once you've got it to a certain position, click S, Z, and then start stretching it out until you see that it's reached the borders. If it hasn't reached the borders, again click S and Z to make it go a bit up. S and Z, and there we go. It's got basic shape, kind of like that. Now, once you've got the shape, you want to do the rest for this. So, again, create a loop cut. Click here, make it go down. G, Z, zoom in a bit, and S and Z. Just have to follow the steps. I'm going to do this here right now in front of you guys so you're sure about what you're doing. Keep making loop cuts like this. Should become pretty easy soon. If you think it's too big, you can just move it down. The shortcut that I'm using for the loop cuts, by the way, is Control R. It should be pretty much same on Windows. I'm using a Mac, so it's Command R for the Mac users out there. Zoom in more and then create another loop cut here. That. So you've done that, you want to continue doing the same for this. So create a loop cut, bring it down. Oh. Okay, Control Z. Loop cut, bring it down, G and Z, scale it up. Looks pretty alright. Create a loop cut here because you can see how this is not very smooth. Okay, looks pretty good. Scale this up. There we go. The nose looks actually pretty decent. It's the same for this one. S and Z. Go up. And if you guys have problems, I'm gonna of course link the file in the description so you guys are making sure that you're keeping up with the plane, or if you have any problems you can use that as a reference. Once you've got this bit done, just do this one, scale it up, GH, oh, scale S and Z, just quickly see if I can. Alright. Same for this bit. Bring it up. S and Z. Okay, it looks pretty alright. Let's create one loop cut here to see if it's... Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. You can see how the shape is, how this mesh is taking shape. Looks pretty okay. Now you want to continue doing the same for the whole plane. So from there, keep creating loop cuts to down here and till this bit. And if you guys think that, you know, the mesh is pretty tiny, what you can do is make sure you're in X-ray mode, or what? Oh yeah, and just make sure you have these two modes enabled. You can select all of this, or just hold down Alt, and you know, bring it this up as we've done before, and start making a remodeling. And after you've like finished this bit well, you can scale it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this bit with this loop cut process, if you like to call it, and keep doing scaling and basically a lot of scaling. Let's just put it that way. A ton of scaling. Keep going up. And to be honest, there's no actual there's no actual place where you can start loop cutting your plane. You can start from the tail or front. I prefer the front. I would advise you guys to do it from the front as well. But again, it's your choice. You don't have to, you don't have to actually. You can follow whatever way you prefer more, because at the end of the day, it's more comfortable for you. So yeah, this process is just literally loop cutting, and it's kind of like, Play-Doh, because you're making this mesh in a specific way. You can see how it's coming along. It's going pretty well. Again, just go here, left, scale it up. Fact. What you can do is, because the fuselage is constant, the length of the loop cut is it's the same height and length. You can Alt and click here, and then you can copy the. Actually, no, never mind. Just continue what you're doing. Not pretty sure. Check that bit later. Just keep loop cutting. There you go, beautiful. It's pretty good. I've reached the back, so again, make a loop cut. Create one here as well. Bring this down. Scale it up. There we go. Beautiful. Shape, however, is it? Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, make a loop cut here because we're getting to the curvy bits. So keep loop cutting and scaling it up and down. Also, make sure you're saving your work, because you should keep doing that, because if you don't, you're gonna become very upset if Blender decides to die. It's happened to me before. I made a whole A380 and my Blender just crashed. The only things were left was the fuselage and the wings, not the tail, not the cockpit windows, not the interior. It was very sad story. Since then, I've made sure I'm saving my work every 10 seconds. You don't need to save your work every 10 seconds, but it's a good practice to keep saving it. And we're nearing the end of yes, we're coming to the end of our fuselage. I'm not gonna bother with the back bit right now. Again, create a loop cut here. Also, make sure to please comment anything that you're struggling with. I always reply to pretty much most of my comments, if I can see them. Looks pretty alright, actually. What you can do is just select all of this using Alt click, Alt and click this loop cut, click G and click X, so you can kind of like expand it a bit. I hate doing that because it's pretty ineffective, but it works. There we go. We've got something similar to a cockpit. I'm sorry, why am I saying cockpit? To a tail. And that's how our mesh looks when we go to the normal mode. It looks pretty good actually. You can see there's a bit of noise over here, but it looks alright. Now, we've done the front, is it the right view? The preset viewpoint. Basically the side view of our plane. But if we get out of this mode, you can see there's a lot of issues. First issue being there's there's a lot of noise. The best way to actually fix this is, well, you can turn the auto smooth off actually. Don't need to turn it on right now. We can see how we've got our mesh in a decent shape, but in the front it looks pretty ugly. It looks horrible. Let's be realistic here. So the way you fix this is by clicking the blueprint. So click whatever you've named your blueprint and hit and doing Shift D. So what this does is duplicates your mesh. So the second you've done that, you should be able to grab it and make sure you're not clicking anything. So the second you duplicate it, click Escape, and then using this bad boy here, you can position it in such a way that, how do I say it? So we're going to position it in a way that we can see the top view of our plane. So I think this is 90 degrees. This goes, this X becomes 0, so it's flat on the top. And then just click on Z here, and then Y becomes, Z becomes 270. There you go, beautiful. We have our lovely blueprint from the top. And because, well, it's not very convenient to, okay, well, whatever. So just click the blueprint that you just got and grab it. Grab it here and just kind of, make sure it's aligned again. You can go into X-ray and zoom in all the way just to see if it's aligned. That looks okay, looks good. Quickly check the back. Hopefully that's aligned as well. That is. Good job. We've done this. Amazing. Go to the top again, and this time click the mesh again and click command and click tab to go into edit mode. Zoom in all the way on the loop cuts and hold on Alt. Grab the first loop cut, and this time we're going to be scaling on the y-axis. So you have to click S and Y and then start zooming in. So of course the first loop cut always has to be the tiniest. That's the way I prefer to do it. And if you want to move directly into your loop cut, you can click View and I think it's cameras, no, it's view regions, viewpoint, view. Okay, I literally can't remember which one it is, but if you click Send Grave, I'll put a picture on the screen of what that is, and click View Selected. You're able to see all the way in, and again, scale it all the way to a single dot, like this. There you go, beautiful. All single dot, and then continue loop cutting the other bits here. So SY, loop cut down, grab it, and make sure you've got it roughly where it needs to be. Actually, click here again and just put it in the center because it looks pretty off. Just do that, and scale on the y-axis again. Grab y, and you can see how the vertices are touching each other. Again, continue doing it with the other bits of the plane. I will be I will be putting the file in my description on a Google Drive link, so you guys can of course check it out. You know, just play around with it. You can make it better if you like. Continue working on that one. But yeah, as you progress on with this loop cuts, you can see how you will be able to see how your mesh looks like. So right now these loop cuts are pretty off, but once we've done all of this, we will be able to like see how able to see each and every loop cut pretty clearly. So just again, grab Y, G, Y, and S and Y again. Continue going on with this. Grab Y, G and Y again. Okay, so keep doing that. You can see how our loop cuts are now taking shape. We can see each and every loop cut in the front individually, and what I like to do at this point is again quickly like click on one of them and make sure the scaling is correct, everything's good. Alt and click the first one, grab it on the y-axis, make sure it's happy. You can make a loop cut on the top again. Click here and quickly, make a loop cut here, and then continue doing this with the rest of the loop cuts. Grab Y, scale it up. G and Y. Oh, okay. This should be pretty easy, to be honest. If you are having some problems with loop cuts, trust you can. I will put a link in the description on how to properly use loop cuts. Oh, right, GY here. Scale on the y-axis. Make sure you are scaling on the y-axis, not on any other axis, okay? Because if you do it on any other axis, it can mess up your whole home plane, which well, it's not gonna be very ideal. Just in case, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, it's coming in shape. Looks pretty nice. Trust me, the best way to actually get better at making planes is to practice. Like, just grab a plane from, grab any blueprint from the internet. Just check out your favorite plane, preferably a tiny one, because, well, it is pretty, the tiny ones are cute. They're pretty good, and they don't take a lot of time. I should have actually chosen a tiny one, but I think the 8-20 is pretty good, and that's a pretty good option. Because just seeing how detailed and well good this blueprint is, this blueprint is. Otherwise, a lot of other blueprints online are pretty blurry, not very detailed. You can start seeing each and every pixel if you zoom in too much. Which, I mean, you can see it for this one as well, but that is when we zoom in like all the way in. For the other ones, the pixels are pretty visible. Again, just keep doing this process. It's not the most fun bit, but it shapes your mesh pretty well. Just think of it as like Play-Doh, like this really cool, not really cool, but kind of cool dough kind of thingy, which you can, like, you know, play around with it, I guess. And it is it's basically what well, it's basically what we're doing in a nutshell, except we're using a computer, and there's a lot of explaining on here. And okay, so at this bit you can see how everything is constant from here. So what you can do is you can select these two very nice loop cuts here by Alt, and then hold down Shift and then Alt again. And now what you can do is here, S and Y, so you're scaling them together, and that way you cut a lot of the work. Then again click G and Y, kind of like that, and then S and Y again, G and Y, S and Y, and you can see how you've just saved so much time instead of doing both of them together. And what you in fact, we could have done this for every single loop cut until like this point. So that's what exactly I'm going to do. Again, hold on Alt, select this loop cut, Shift, 1, 2, okay, oops, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then scale on the Y-axis, grab them up, do the same for, okay, no, never mind, just do this one individually. That shouldn't be as hard as I thought. And now we're getting to the end of this beautiful tail. Guess if the tail's beautiful, if you like tails. Pretty weird thing to say, I like tails. Don't bring that up in a conversation, please. Just, what do you like? I love plain airplane tails. So it's a very weird thing. If you do, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just pretty odd, you know, saying I like airplane tails. Where did this topic come from? Anyways, let's continue with here. Keep going up. Okay, like that. Alright, we've pretty much got to the end, and here it's just a lot of loop cutting. So now we're going to be making the loop cut small. So S, Y, and again, just bring your mouse in. Should become small. Basically doing what you did as a child with Play-Doh, or even mud. If you played with mud, I don't know why you would play with mud. Nothing wrong with it, but sure. It helps with Blender, I guess. I'm gonna do these bits pretty quickly because I don't want to use too much time. I'm pretty sure you guys have got the idea of how to, you know, got the idea of what I'm doing. If you haven't, please join my Discord server. It's child friendly, I guess. It is child friendly. It's not a lot of bad people. They're pretty good people. You can get tons of help. Amazing server. You can even directly message me. It should help you a lot. Yeah. Okay, so we have got our front bit done. The tail looks very funny, and I suspect there's something that we've done wrong. Again, get this bad boy in. Oh, sorry. Something we've done wrong. It looks fine, to be honest. You can fix the back bit on yourself, because I mean, you guys have to practice as well. So from the front end view, it looks pretty alright, and once I go out of edit mode, it looks alright actually. It doesn't look bad. It looked kind of thick from the front, but that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I think that should be enough. The next tutorial, I can do another video on how to make the cockpit videos. I have an older tutorial on that. It's not very old. It's just like 3 months old, 3-4 months old. It should help you a lot, but if you want, I can do another one. It's not a problem. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something today, and yeah, good luck with making your plane. Bye.